Do you know what the worst feeling is? One of the worst is hearing your alarm go off in the morning. Hold on. And when you hear it, your initial thought is like, oh, that's a mistake. It's the weekend. The alarm's not supposed to go off and I don't have to get up right now. And then realizing, no, it's not the weekend. That alarm is supposed to go off and you do have to get up right now, and it's Monday, so it's just the start of the week. That's what happened this morning when my alarm went off. I don't know why my mind initially thought like, you're not supposed to be getting up right now, it's the weekend. Maybe because I just came off of a weekend, the first weekend of the school year, but it just made getting up and getting moving that much more difficult. But here I am dressed. It is 7 o'clock. I am making my iced coffee and really just sweetening it. I make it the night before. And getting ready to start week 2 of the school year. So yeah, I'm here to say good morning and let you know that that is how my work week has started. I woke up thinking that it was the weekend, only to find out that it's Monday. That didn't really do much this weekend. I just got some work done, ran a bunch of errands. This week's focus is really trying to get back on routines that I need to have established, and really trying to work on making sure that this year I just have more balance, that I'm not working myself to death. And getting back on a workout routine. I didn't work out at all last week, so we got to get back on that. And that's it. And this week I am wearing my little Afro puff. I mean, I feel like it matches a little bit more because I got a cellophane put in my hair, which made my hair darker. But I might get a different one that's a more appropriate color. But my hair is going to be up for a while until it is not blazing hot outside. My little updo from last week, I liked it. But that is my hairdresser doing that. She does that for me. And that, well, I guess it doesn't cost $60. It was 60 something dollars, I think, because of the cellophane. But I know if I have her do it and just put it up, it's probably gonna be $40 to $50. And that's $40 to $50 I don't really need to spend. I can do it on my own because it's pretty simple. I got the blow dryer. I feel like I did a good job. So that's it. But I don't really have much to report. I'm gonna head out and I will talk to you guys later. Just wanted to say good morning. Hi, it's 6:30, Monday evening. I didn't vlog from the classroom today. We were kind of just finishing up a lesson from Friday. We talked about author's viewpoint with Let 'Em Play God. I didn't feel like I was doing anything super special. I found a video on YouTube that talks about author's viewpoint, and then we practiced identifying author's viewpoint with an article from a Nearpod lesson. And in social studies, I just discussed this activity that I keep telling you guys about, but not showing it to you because we haven't gotten to it. So I think we'll get to it tomorrow. At least they'll have time to work on it, because we're right in the middle of iReady, and I know I have some kids that are finished, or there will come a time where I have kids that are finished and they're looking for something to do. And I think what I'm gonna have them do is work on that while other kids finish. Plus I had a staff meeting after work, and by the time that was over, I didn't have the energy to kind of rehash the day, and I wanted to kind of get home so that I can get started on getting myself situated for the next day. I'm really trying this year to just be better about cutting off work at a certain time, structuring my day so that I can be sure to be able to do things like read, get 7 hours of sleep a night consistently. I'm pretty good about that, but just kind of do the things that I always feel like fall by the wayside, such as reading. I need to find a paper towel to put you guys down on. So I just made sure after that staff meeting to get myself ready for the next day by making sure my slide was ready to go. I don't have any copies I need to make, so I didn't do that. And then I left after kind of debriefing the meeting with some coworkers, because it was frustrating at the end. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. So I'm at home, I'm getting ready to pack my lunch. I'm also going to walk Riley afterwards. I have to show you Riley. He's gotten this new haircut. This is the shortest my mom has ever gotten his haircut, and we're all a fan. It is his best little look. Riley, you wanna come over here? He doesn't. I'm gonna show you. It's just, he looks so cute. His little hair is so short. Look at this man, Riley Roo. Show them your new look. Look at him. Model it. Model it, Roo. Yeah, so he got his hair cut. It's nice and short, which I'm sure he loves because it probably keeps him cooler. But he just looks so cute, and he's smaller than what we thought because he always had so much hair. Oh, love it. So I'm gonna take him out for a walk in a second. But before I do that, I am going to pack my lunch for the next day. I've already, let's see if this works, pulled my clothes out for tomorrow. Gotten those ironed if I need, not if I need to, got those ironed because I needed to. And now I'm packing a lunch. And also update, I've officially canceled my Green Chef membership for was it Green Chef? I think so. For right now, there's so many meal delivery services. I always want to say Hello Fresh, but then I'm like, no, it's Green Chef. And then when I say Green Chef, then I think, was it Hello Fresh? Like, whatever. I canceled my meal subscription service just because I, again, am trying to find places where I can create time for myself. And honestly, Trader Joe's has really been kind of working for me. And I also got a cookbook. I don't think I showed this in a previous vlog. This crock pot cookbook that I found on Amazon. I've only made one recipe from this, and I will not be making it again. It was, what was it, Korean barbecue or something? Korean beef. It was this, which sounds great, and I'm sure it would have been, but what I've learned is I do not like ground beef cooked in a crock pot. It gives it this like mushy texture, and I was not a fan of that. So that kind of put me off. And then the other things that I think I would be interested in, it's like too hot for it. Like there's soup recipes in here and things of that nature. It's definitely too hot for that. And then I'm also just not at a place where I'm ready to sit down, look at a recipe and even put an Instacart order together to get that delivered. So this weekend I just went to Trader Joe's, got some stuff that I know is easy. I tried something new, and I'm gonna have that for leftovers tonight. I don't have the packaging anymore, but they are stuffed bell peppers, and it's stuffed with ground turkey and spinach. And at first I was a little concerned, or I was a little hesitant, because I feel like ground turkey easily can be bland and flavorless, especially if you're not the one cooking it. But these were good. So you get 2 in a pack. And I ate one last night, and then I ate one of the little side salads from Trader Joe's. And then I had a little ice cream sandwich for dessert, and it was like the perfect amount of food. So that's kind of what I'm doing for lunch right now, or dinners right now. Lunches have been salads or wraps. So tomorrow I'm just gonna have the other half of a wrap that I bought from Trader Joe's with some fruit. And yeah, the other thing, let me show you this because this was kind of interesting. I bought this from Trader Joe's over the weekend. I had to try it. It is key lime flavored kettle corn, which at first I was like, no, I'm not trying that because it sounds crazy. And you know what? It's just crazy enough where it ends up being good. Like it, just when you put it in your mouth and you're like, this is weird, then you think, oh, I like it. And then you put some more in your mouth. So that was my newest Trader Joe's discovery in addition to the stuffed peppers. So yeah, that's what I'm about to do. Pack my lunch, make my iced coffee for tomorrow, take Riley on a walk, and then do a little bit of work. And then stop working and read and all of that healthy stuff before I go to bed. So I will see you guys tomorrow, I believe. Good morning. It's Wednesday. Here I am from this weird angle. It's just before, it's about 7:25. Obviously, I'm on my way to work. Didn't vlog yesterday. Didn't really have much going on. Nothing new in terms of teaching that I felt like was worth sharing. So I just didn't pick up the camera. But yesterday went relatively well. I did realize yesterday, I feel like we're at the point in the beginning of the school year where like you're really having to make sure kids understand the do's and the don'ts of your class. And so I have some kids that are just kind of like not talking loud and not even necessarily talking a lot, but talking in a way where they don't seem to realize it's not acceptable to just be casually talking while I'm talking or teaching, or even while their classmate is talking or teaching. So I've had to like really be very direct and let people know, like, no, that's not anything. I think I told a student yesterday, I'm like, that's not anything that I would want you to do. You should not be talking when I'm up here teaching or when your classmate is sharing. And he was responsive to that. And on the flip side, like, just kind of teaching my class, like when I call on them, they really do have to be ready. Like, I think I forget that it takes me a minute to get classes every year accustomed to the fact that the way that my class is, if I call on you're going to provide some kind of answer. You can't just escape by saying, I don't know. And if they truly don't know, I'll create some situations that will help them to know what they need to know to answer the question. But just saying, I don't know, and thinking that'll be the end of that just isn't the way that my classroom runs. Or the other thing is just giving fake answers, like answers where you're just saying words, but I know that you don't really have a reason why you're saying that. You're just saying something to kind of get me to move on. So it's kind of painful in the beginning to let a child experience an awkward moment where I've called on them and they're not prepared with an answer because they didn't follow directions, and then make it clear that you're going to have an answer. So I'm going to come back to you anyway. But it all works out in the end. Like, eventually they get like, okay, like if she says discuss, we really got to discuss. If she says she's going to call on someone, she's really going to call on someone. So I need to make sure I'm ready. So it typically works itself out. It's just a training. And then yesterday they started the thing that I keep telling you about. I think I have like a couple that I can show you. I'm doing this through Canva, and I'm still not super savvy on integrating Canva into Google Classroom. It's either I'm not savvy with it, or Canva needs to work on the ease with which that happens, because I clicked a button on Canva that says import a Google Classroom, and it doesn't look like it did that. So so far what seems to be the easiest is just giving them that shareable link and having them join your class that way. But they're basically they're making a infographic about their rings of culture, and later on in the day when I'm at my computer and I can show you better, I'll probably show that to you, or I'll at least show mine so that you get a sense of what it is. So I showed both classes how to do that yesterday, got them on Canva, and it's kind of something I just have them work on if they finish iReady, because we are in the middle of iReady testing, and we're now at the point where some kids are finished and some kids are not. So yeah. Today, I'm going to try a new strategy that I'll go in greater detail again later in the day. But I'm just really here to say good morning and start the day from this awkward position in the car. So good morning, and I'll talk to you later. Oh, there was one more thing I wanted to say. I went to Orange Theory this morning. And this week, what my focus has been so far, getting back on like the routines that I need to have in place. One of them being work out before work, and make sure you get to school on time. So I don't work out on Mondays. I did my Peloton yesterday, and then this morning I went to Orange Theory, which is kind of the true test, because you know, I have to drive somewhere. I have to make sure I get home in a relatively good amount of time to get dressed and still get to school on time. And I'm officially on time to school. And I didn't feel like I was super rushed this morning, so I think we're good. So that's a bright spot of the week. Can you tell me something you learned about patterns of population?
Increasing beats depending on the
So it can be the environment. Give me one other reason why a group of people may move somewhere else. I would just like for you guys to know that I'm so committed to you guys that I actually left like a good 20 minutes ago and was just down the street from my condo and turned around because I realized I forgot to show you what I was supposed to show you. So I have driven all the way back to school really quickly to show this to you guys because I keep talking about it and then I'm not doing it. And you know, I would like for these vlogs to feel useful. So let me log on really quickly, and while that's happening, let's just talk about the day. The day went well for the most part, with the exception of the fact that my email account for some reason locks me out every day, and I've been talking about this for 2.5 years, and it's like the district keeps telling me to do X, Y, and Z, and I do X, Y, and Z, and it doesn't work, and it's kind of like they're like, oh well, we don't know what to tell you. And I'm like, but I need my email. That was the downfall of the day. So what I wanted to share is two things. Both of these came from my training that I went to over the summer in Santa Fe. And so far from what I can see, it's going well. And so both of these things I'm going to show you on Canva because that's kind of where I'm using it, or where the best place to look at it would be. Let me see if I can show you a student's work. No, let me check my email because I know I have a student that finished. Let's not check an email because that's a dicey situation. Let me go to my class, maybe classwork. And like I said, I'm still like learning Canva. Okay, here's one. I'm gonna zoom this in. Okay, so one of the things we talked about in our training in Santa Fe was just the concept of these rings of culture, and this wasn't the first time that I'd heard about it. We had talked about it at staff meetings before, and basically I think there's a total of 6 rings of culture. And I only had the kids focus on one because one of them can be very controversial. One of them, just in the climate we're in, I could hear a parent writing a letter to the board saying, I don't know what Miss Robinson is doing in that class. So I just eliminated it altogether. So this, the rings of culture that I'm having the kids focus on are their ethnicity, their age group, their nationality, religion, socioeconomic status. And then the one that I had them eliminate, I think it's called gender identity, or it may have been sexual identity. Whatever it was, it had something to do with kind of issues or touching upon the fact that you have LGBTQ plus students in your class. And I have some parents that are just not willing to accept that or don't want that to be acknowledged in any way. I don't think it's right, but I'm also not trying to get fired from my job. So we talked about this on the training, and the purpose of this is just really kind of talking to kids about how all these different rings of culture really do influence how you view the world, how you move throughout the world, and things like that. And I think it's just important to kind of do something like this because I do teach US history, and I do want to be able to teach history without like tiptoeing around things, and making sure people see themselves in the lessons that we learn, and if nothing else, to just have pride in who they are and all the aspects that make them who they are. So I told them that I wanted them to create an infographic using Canva, and they had to use or identify their rings of culture. And so I showed them mine as a sample, and I can't remember if I showed you mine as a sample, but I'll show you one that a student made because this is student work. I'm covering her name. So again, this is just the infographic template on Canva. So they would put their ethnicity, what they identify as, and then a statement as to why they identify as that. Their age group, again, description of why they identify as that, what makes them feel a part of that particular cultural group, their nationality, their religion, and their socioeconomic status. And I had to explain what socioeconomic status was for them to kind of be able to figure that out. And I told them that one might be the hardest one for you to kind of know. But I said at this age, most of you have a sense of like, is my family middle class? Are we working class? Is money tight for us? Do we have access to whatever we want? And I said, for the most part, I'm assuming just based on this area, most of us living in this area would probably be considered middle class. So I'm gonna print these in color. And by me, I'm hoping that the school will do that for me. And that will be the first thing that I hang on the wall as a piece of student work. So that was just something I thought of to do because I was like, I want them to think about their rings of culture, and it would be great if it could be something they could produce. And I just thought of having them make an infographic. So I made my own first to see if it was easy, and it was, because Canva makes life easier in that regard. And I think it's a good thing to have hanging in the room, my classroom in particular, to reiterate the idea that this is an inclusive environment, that we appreciate and celebrate everyone and all aspects of them. So that's the first thing, and I think that's the thing I've alluded to a few days now and just never got to it. The second thing is a strategy that I learned at the same training, and it's called Yesterday's Headlines. And basically it's a strategy that you could use to kind of assess like whether students learned what you wanted them to learn. It's like a variation on like a ticket out the door situation. So let me pull up the slides I made for that to kind of walk us through the process. Again, I tend to make slides for the kids, but also for me to make sure that I'm on track and presenting information or strategies in the right order. So I just found, again, like a newspaper-ish template on Canva, told them the title. It said, this is yesterday's headlines. We are looking at key themes in history with TCI right now. So according to TCI, you see these posters over there? There are 7 key themes in history. Now, these are the ones TCI offers. I'm sure others can come up with different ones, but those are the ones that they offered. And so each day, we're just looking at one of those themes. And yesterday, we talked about patterns of population. And as we read the little section on patterns of population yesterday, I said we want to read through this, make sure we understand what they're referring to when they say patterns of population. What are we studying? What are we looking at? What are we thinking about? And I said tomorrow, which is today, you're going to be asked to write a quote unquote headline to show that you really understand, have like a basic understanding of what patterns of population is. So we did that today. I gave them the steps. So the first thing they do is I set a timer, and during the time that's allotted, I gave a total of 3 minutes. They need to talk to 3 different classmates and discuss what they learned about patterns of population yesterday. It was 3 minutes in total, but I had timers going off every minute so they knew when to move. So they met one person, a minute passed, met the second person, another minute passed, met the third person, and another minute passed. The second step is after they've gone through and talked to 3 different classmates, they return back to their seat where I had a Post-it note sitting on their desk, and they were supposed to write their headline. And I said, we're calling it a headline because it shouldn't be very long. Like, it should be a sentence or 2. And one girl was like a little confused in the beginning, and I said, now if you want to write it so that it sounds like an actual headline, that's fine, and that's even better. But really the premise is like, it's very short. Like, I should be able to read your sentence or your 2 sentences and know that you understand patterns of population. So I gave them some quiet time to work on their own, to work through that. And afterwards, I collected everyone's headline, and then I redistributed them so that everyone had someone else's headline. Then they had a moment to read the headline that they had, and I said, you're gonna read it, and if you feel like they have clearly told you what patterns of population is, you feel like they're correct, you agree, you're done. if you read it and you know that their answer, their headline is totally incorrect, it has nothing to do with patterns of population, it's incorrect in terms of how they define it, or maybe they're saying something and it kind of sounds like they're on track, but you don't fully understand what they're trying to say, you're gonna walk it up to the board and post it on the newspaper. So I had this projected on my screen. They would just walk up their post-it note, stick it on the screen. And then once everyone that felt the need to post on the screen was done, I would read through the post-it notes anonymously, in the sense that I told them no one's gonna know if it's your post-it note up there, because I'm not gonna say whose name is on it. No one would know unless you announce, oh, that's mine up there. I said, so don't, you know, worry about yours going up there and then everybody knows. So I would read it out loud, and I said, now when I read it out loud, you'll know it's yours, but no one else will. And then I would clarify, like if it was saying something that was incorrect or a little off, I would clarify it to make sure we all have like a general understanding of patterns of population. So I thought the strategy went really well, and you can use it with really any topic. And we'll probably do this for each theme, because it's a nice quick way to assess, did they understand that yesterday? And it's a little different than like your quote-unquote ticket out the door. So that went well. And then I've still been working and making sure that I constantly reference, you know, different lessons and how they're designed and what a particular activity is meant to hit up on in terms of learning styles. So when they were working with their partners and talking about what they remembered from yesterday's lesson on patterns of population, I said, and I got this from the training, this is to recognize and honor students that indicated that they learn better in collaborative environments. And so this little pointer's there telling them that today there's going to be some activity that we do that is going to focus on those types of learners. But then when they were working on their what am I trying to say? Then when they were working on their on their headline, it's not on this poster, but I said, now this is for those students that are the complete opposite, and they like to work on their own and they would prefer to do that. This is their time. They have a moment of silence. No one's talking to them. They don't have to talk to anyone. And so making sure they knew that. And I need to do a better job. Actually, that's not concept of time. Scratch what I was about to say. So that's something that I have to actively think about every day, so that this kind of method of being very clear about my attempts as a teacher to recognize all types of learners and be a better teacher in that regard is constantly at the forefront of my mind. So that's what I wanted to share. Now I'm gonna go home and no, I won't be done with work for the day. I have to go home and try and write 3 days of emergency sub-plans. We have to do that at the beginning of every year. So I need to get that together, because technically they're due on Friday. Now, will I have mine done by Friday? We don't know. Gonna make a valiant effort, but I can't guarantee that it's gonna happen, but I'm gonna try. So that's it for today. I will talk to you tomorrow, I think. We'll see. I am feeling really good about myself right now. It's Friday. It's about 5 o'clock. I'm getting ready to go after I talk to you guys, of course. Step one, positive, is I believe that, well, no, I'm not even gonna say that. I was able to log into my email this morning without being locked out, which never happens. So I don't know if that means they fixed it. I don't remember if I told you I talked to my principal about it yesterday to see if he could contact someone at the district level. He did, and then I emailed the tech guy and told him, and he's on standby currently at this point. So this morning I was supposed to come in, log in, and as soon as I got locked out the first time, let him know. And so I knew that I needed to bring my laptop just in case, because chances are, or the assumption was, is that I would be locked out, and surprisingly I wasn't. Now I don't know if that's fixed, we don't know. So I emailed him and told him I wasn't locked out this morning, but please be on standby, and he's going to do that. So that's one reason why I feel successful. Number two, I actually finished doing something today that was due today, technically, but we were given an extension that I really didn't think I was gonna get done, and it's something I dread doing every single year, but I think I'll be able to use this consistently from year to year, and that is provide 3 days worth of emergency sub-plans. We have to give those to the ladies in the office at the beginning of the year in case we ever find ourselves out sick unexpectedly and didn't leave sub-plans the day before. I used my emergency sub-plans last year and Taylor was helping on the day that I was out when my eyes were basically swollen shut. And when she used them, we realized they were outdated. I don't even remember what it was I was telling them to do, but it was very COVID-y, like they were written as if we were still in the middle of a pandemic. So last night I went on and got some great quick lessons that are just kind of ready to go from Common Lit, and found some vocabulary lessons, and just having to remind myself, like, if you're ever in the situation where there's an emergency sub, you're not like, you need to not be worrying about like, well, where are we in the lesson plans, and is it going to be exactly what I want them to do? Like, just remembering at that point, essentially the sub is just there to keep the kids safe, to make sure there's an adult body in the room, and provide them some kind of learning opportunity. It's not going to be the most rigorous, most exciting thing, but that's just kind of the nature of those situations. So I got all of that done, which is clipped up here, that I have to drop off in the office on Monday, because I'm pretty sure the office is closed. And why else? Oh, also this week, my battery's dying. I did a good job of like getting back on a routine with working out. I worked out each day I was supposed to, had dinners, went to bed at a reasonable time, walked Riley, all that good stuff. And now that I see that my battery's about to run out, I'm gonna also show you, I gotta put that stuff away. I just want to talk and do an update on the cubbies, because these have been a success. I'm gonna go ahead and put that out there right now. I don't see why I would change my mind. We gotta just tell the kids we're not leaving trash on top of the cubby. But yeah, they have been working out. The kids put their stuff in it. It has been nice to have just like no backpacks in the way down there, telling them that their phones should remain in their backpacks. They're numbered, it's organized. Like, the key is, for me, if you are thinking about doing this, is you have to make sure that you're not allowing them all to unpack and put their things in their cubbies all at once. So you don't want 30 kids trying to do this all at one time. So when they come in, they are told and reminded outside when I'm talking to them at the line that they need to come in, take their backpacks to their desk, unpack their belongings at their desk, and then I call them one table at a time to put their empty bags in their cubby. And then same when it's time to go. I don't let them just go and grab their backpacks all at once. I dismiss them one group at a time. And it's not that much time in between the groups when I dismiss them. Like, I'll call one table, and then maybe 15 to 30 seconds I'll call another, because by that time the group that was there before should be done grabbing their things and going back to their seat, because they unpack and pack at their desk. So that has worked well. And I also feel like I've been doing a pretty good job of being more mindful and just being very explicit about, you know, the types of learners that I'm trying to hit with different activities. So like saying, in this moment we're focusing on students that, you know, like to work collaboratively, or sometimes we're focusing on students who said, I don't really like to work collaboratively, because those students do exist. There are some people and students that like to just work on their own. So just kind of making sure they know, like, this moment is for you. If you don't like to work with anyone, this is your time. So all in all, the second week of school went pretty well. I think the kids are now kind of like, oh, this is real stuff. So I don't really have any complaints. As far as today, we finished up the monkey's paw. And one of the things I really need to work on, and I feel like this is a goal every year, is at the end of stories, making sure kids have the opportunity to evaluate the story or the passage. Talk about what they liked, what they didn't like, what they would change, why they would change it. And I always start the year off strong doing that, and then I think I get so rushed with trying to get so much stuff done that I forget that little part at the end. So we did that today. They did a good job of talking about how they felt about the monkey's paw. And really that's it. So I think as I'm talking right now, I don't know with this year's vlog, I feel like I'm gonna avoid vlogging about things that I feel like I have blogged about year after year since I've been in middle school. Like, you're hearing the same stories, the monkey's paw and this and that, and really try and focus on when I'm doing something new, so that these vlogs don't feel old and redundant if you've been watching me for years. So that's it. I'm gonna have to abruptly end the vlog because the battery's gonna die at any minute. But if you enjoyed taking a peek into my life this week, please give this video a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please make sure you subscribe. If you're not following me on Instagram, head over there, and please help a girl out over on TikTok. Follow me there, watch my videos, like them, share them, because that helps me just kind of grow in that area as well. So as always, I hope that you're well, and if you're not well, please be well, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.